Today Baba says that a garland has been shown around the neck of deities and Shaktis. And Baba says, how do you become worthy of that garland? So Baba gives us a very interesting garland in Sangam Yuga, the garland of virtues. And Baba says that let this garland of virtues always be in your intellect. And then, because you have this garland of virtues in your intellect all the time in Sangam Yuga, so this will make us eligible to have a garland in our worship worthy stage when we are worshipped as deities. Now, what is the garland of virtues? So Baba gives us very interesting direction. Baba says when we are with souls, when we are playing our part with other souls, then we must see their virtues. But we must always imbibe virtues from one Baba. So Baba says, keep in your awareness the virtues of Baba and keep imbibing those virtues. And when we come into connection with souls, then just see their virtue. Now, you see, this is very important because sometimes we think that we have to imbibe virtues from other souls. But you know, every soul is different and unique. And you cannot be like anybody else. And nobody can be like you. For example, if somebody has the virtue of speaking very good language and you think that you should imbibe that virtue from them, then what would happen is, it is a good idea to learn or attempt to better your language, but it is not a good idea to think that you should be like someone or talk like someone or, have that virtue like someone else. Because when you start doing that, sooner or later you will start comparing yourself with the other person. So Baba says that every soul is unique and every soul has virtues and specialities. And we must not look at we must not look at the weaknesses or the shortcomings of any souls. We must look at their virtues because that will make us have respect for that soul. But we must also know that no two souls are the same and no two souls have the same virtues. And if I want to be virtuous, then I have to churn on the virtues of Baba. Now you see, I am not like anyone else. I am only like my Baba. And there is a difference between original virtues and applied virtues. So, there are original virtues of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss and power. And Baba is the ocean of these original virtues. And then, as much as we are full of these virtues, when we come into action, we have what is called applied virtues. Yes, for example, if somebody is loveful, then they may have an applied virtue of care, or they may have an applied virtue of sweetness, or they may have an applied virtue of tolerance. But it all comes from the main virtue of love. But then, no two souls can be sweet in the same manner, or no two souls can be tolerant in the same manner. Or even, tolerance is tolerance is one of the powers also. So then you could say that it's a basic virtue, original virtue, but then no two souls could be sweet in the same manner, no two souls would care in the same manner. So everybody's method of care is different. Everybody's method of being sweet is different. And even when four people have the same virtue of sweetness, they will be sweet in their own unique ways. Yes, some people will be sweet in sweet in their voice, some people will be sweet in their manners, some people will be sweet in their actions. So it will be different, and different intensity also. So Baba says that you want to imbibe virtues, you look at Baba and draw virtues from Baba. So when we sit in silence and I, the soul, open my heart and I draw peace and love and joy and power and purity from Baba, then what happens is I have a very unique combination of applied virtues latent in me. And that unique combination would get activated. When I draw these original virtues into myself from Baba, then I will have a unique way of applying them. And that will be me, that will be I, the unique soul. And if you try to copy somebody else's virtues, that is very difficult. Yes, for example, let's say somebody has the virtue of cooking very good food, but somebody else doesn't have that virtue. So if you try to, be a good cook, or, cook very delicious meals, it would become very challenging. Not everybody can be the same. You can be a very good cook, but you will be a unique cook. You will not be like the one you're copying. And then maybe somebody doesn't have that virtue in that magnitude. Maybe that person can express their love in other ways. Maybe instead of cooking very elaborate meals, they could cook very simple meals out of a lot of love, or they could serve with a lot of love, or they could share the knowledge while cooking and serving meals which would add value to the soul more than the food they eat. So it could be, so what Baba is trying to tell us is, every soul has virtues and every soul is unique in their virtues. And we must look at the virtues of every soul, and in my heart I should have appreciation that this soul has this virtue and it's very nice. But I shouldn't try to be like somebody else. And who should I try to be like? Like Baba. And when I try to be like Baba, then I will be the best version of myself. And I have so right now we are the worst version of ourselves, right? So after 84 births of our journey, I am the worst version of myself, and I want to be the best version of myself. I don't want to be like somebody else, or even if I want to be, I can't be like anybody else, because I am a unique soul. I have my unique resonance, I have my uniqueness, my unique qualities, my unique virtues. So Baba says that try to imbibe virtues from Baba. And what happens is that when I just sit in Baba's remembrance and I draw the peace and purity and the knowledge and the love and the joy and the power from Baba, then all that is, all that is shrouding my virtues, or all that viciousness or darkness within me is lost. And then the blueprint, the fine blueprint of my unique virtuous self emerges. And that is what we want to have. We can't be like anybody else. And I remember there was this one sister I saw, and she lived with another sister who was very fast in working, she could do everything very fast. But this sister did not have that kind of speed, but she had more observation. So, she could observe more, but the other sister was very fast. She could do everything faster than anybody else. And then this sister, the other one, she kept telling her, you're very slow, you're very slow. And then she also kind of started competing that I want to be fast. And of course, it's a good idea to have the aim to, do things faster and, save time. But then if you want to be fast like someone else, that's not a good idea. You just have to know that, I have to draw so when Baba says power, so I have spiritual power and I can process things faster and I can do things faster. So I want to be fast as I can be. I don't want to be fast like anybody else. And what happened is, this sister went into some kind of complex that I'm very slow. And then, I had to remind her that you have your own unique qualities. And even if somebody tells you that, you're not like me, you're not like me, you have to know that you're not like anybody, and that's okay. You're not designed to be like anybody. But then you are designed, but then this is the age and the time to become the best version of yourself. And for that, what do? You don't look at anybody else or copy anybody else in their virtues, but you just look at Baba and try to draw the love and light from Baba, which finishes all the other layers which are hiding your highest potential. And then the unique virtuous self that you are will emerge. So this is something that Baba says. And then second thing that Baba underlines is, when you come into connection with anybody, have appreciation for their virtues, but do not compare them with yourself. Sometimes when we have appreciation for somebody else's virtues, we try to, there is a subtle comparison that starts happening. And comparison, this sanskar of comparison is so deep that, have you noticed that even if somebody is appreciating someone else, so let's say you are in a room and somebody says, that person is very sweet, then the first thing you think is, am I not sweet? So why didn't they say you are sweet? So this is the kind of, subtle comparison we have. And this bone of comparison, or this sanskar of comparison, is very deep. So we need to understand that when you look at anybody's virtue, you appreciate their virtue and you say good for them. It's good that they have this virtue. And I am myself, and I will focus on my virtues, and yes, I will appreciate those virtues and be inspired from them, but will not copy them. And I can't copy them. So being inspired by somebody's virtues is good, but being, trying to copy them, or being intimidated by somebody's virtues, or being jealous of somebody's virtues, or starting to compare yourself with somebody's virtues is not a good idea. Because everybody is very different. But it's very important that, and sometimes, because we have this sanskar of jealousy or comparison or feeling less than in the light of other people's virtues, so what we start doing is, we start dismissing their virtues. Yes, because I want to feel better, so I would dismiss their virtue. And I would say, yes, they cook well, but why do you need to cook? You could just buy food. So, you would just dismiss somebody's virtues, because if you accept somebody's virtues, if you acknowledge somebody's virtues, you start comparing yourself. So then what you do is, you dismiss somebody's virtues, and then you play this ego game that you have a virtue, but that is less valuable, and my virtue is more valuable. But Baba says, don't do that. You have to know and see everybody's virtues, and have respect for everybody's virtues, and be inspired by everybody. But you must also appreciate your own qualities, and you must try to become better by drawing virtues from Baba. So this is something that Baba is explaining today, and Baba says, if you did this, then this would be called, this would be the effort that would make you have the garland of virtues around you at this time, and then this will make you worthy of garlands of flowers and other garlands when you are worshipped in your worship worthy stage in the copper age. So this is something that we need to keep in mind. And second thing Baba today talks about is, so Baba today in the Murli very subtly talks about drama, Baba and effort. And in the knowledge of the drama is two things. One is the knowledge of time, and second is the knowledge that every soul has a part in the drama. So, I, the soul, have a pre-recorded part in me, but that part is also related to time. Yes. So just like in old times, we had those gramophones. Have you seen maybe in old movies and stuff, they show those gramophones which keep rotating, and there is a needle, and where the needle strikes, that part of the record starts playing. So Baba says, you are like that pre-recorded CD in the gramophone, and time is the needle. And when time strikes, only then you can play that part. Yes, and so the knowledge that we are receiving, because it is coming from the ocean of knowledge, it is very, very deep knowledge. and deep knowledge has to be internalized. And sometimes when you talk to people in the world, and even when you look at your own belief systems before Gyan, we tend to confuse everything. We equate God with karma, with drama, with part. We don't understand the difference between all these factors. But when Baba comes, Baba gives us the knowledge of everything. And Baba says, one factor is Baba, the most important factor. Second factor is time. And then the third factor is your part in the drama. So your part also has to be there. You also need to have a pre-recorded part. And then there is effort, which is called karma. Now, when all these four things come together, then fortune is created. So, when in Sangam Yuga, why is Sangam Yuga called the most fortunate time, or the time for the creation of fortune? Because in Sangam Yuga, all these four things come together. So, Baba comes in Sangam Yuga, and then it is the time for change. So, if it is not the time for change, if it is not the time for us to go to Satyug, then we cannot go to Satyug. So, Baba comes, Baba brings the thought for change, Baba brings the method for change. Then there is the time for change, and the drama inspires us for change. Because it according to the time you understand that now the sorrow is at the maximum and you want to go to that world of happiness. I will tell you one incident. There was this one lady, and she came to the center, and she told that she was living in Nepal, and she said when she came to the center she was 50 years of age. And she told me that when she was 15 years of age, at that time she got the introduction of Baba, and she came to know that Baba is creating heaven and this is hell. And then she said that, Didi, even now Nepal is, in Nepal there is not much sorrow. Like, yes, there is sorrow, but then there is not this kind of, like heat and other stuff, and we are not suffering like that. It's a pretty happy place. So can you think about 35 years back? So she said 35 years back in Nepal, we felt like we are in the lap of, nature. And at that time when I listened to Gyan, then I had these realizations. I had some sakshatkars also where I had faith in Gyan. But because everybody around me said, where is this hell? There is no hell right now. It's heaven only. So then I couldn't think about Gyan very deeply. And then later on, right now when I am here in Delhi and I've seen life and I've seen sorrow, now this Gyan makes sense to me. So you see that Gyan also, drama also inspires us to make effort. So, when we see that the drama is, when you see the scene of the drama, that there is so much sorrow around you, and then you have this desire to go to a happy place, then you start appreciating Gyan more. And then the third thing is your part in the drama. Because even when the drama has, the time has come, or even when Baba is coming and giving the Gyan, Gyan will make sense to you, or you will have this thought that yes, now it is Kali Yuga and I want to go to heaven, only when it is your part in drama. So your part also, there has to be a recording also in you. And these three things have to come together for you to have the, have the thought to make effort. And when you are sitting in the class, then it is understood that these three things have come together. And you have a part in drama, and it is the time for change, and Baba has come, and these three things have happened. Now the fourth thing needs to happen, which is effort. Because again, you have to, in order to have internal harmony, you have to do what makes sense to you. So Gyan makes sense to you, but then following what makes sense to you also needs effort. So you cannot, without any effort, you cannot go to Satyug. But even to have the sense that you need to make effort, you need all these three factors to come together: the destiny, your destiny, individual destiny, collective destiny or drama, and then Baba. When these three factors come together, then you have this thought that, I should make effort, or you are inspired to make effort. But then there are many things you are inspired to do and you never do. So, you are inspired to do it, but then do it. Only then you will get the reward of it. So, Baba talks about these four things, and Baba specifically says that drama inspires us to make effort, and Baba comes and gives us the knowledge that enables us to make effort. Because you see, the most important foundation of creation is thought. Yes, it is said sankalp se srishti. So if you look at anything in the world, the seed of that creation is laid by thought. When you see an aeroplane flying, how could it fly in the air? Because somebody thought that there should be something that flies in the air. So, there has to be a thought first. And Baba comes and sows the seed of that thought. Before Baba comes, we never have this thought that there is a possibility of a world where there is complete purity, peace and happiness. You never think that it is possible for us to be completely pure, peaceful and happy. And if you don't believe it, then how can you make it? Not possible. And you see, when I conduct the courses, I always try to ask this question that, Baba tells us that our original nature is knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss and power. But science and religion says otherwise. And science and religion both say that there was always unhappiness, there was always anger, there was always ego, there was always lust. They never talk about a time when there was no lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And you cannot have perfect happiness with lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. Because these are the seeds of sorrow. So, Baba is the only one who comes and sows this seed in our awareness that our Anadi Swarup, when we were in the soul world, we were free from vices. And for 2 yugas, Satyug and Tretayug, there was no vice. There was only purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss and power. And Baba says, when you can visualize it, when you can think about it, then you can become that. So the first so Baba comes and sows the seed of purity in us, that it is possible to be pure, and a world of purity is possible. That seed Baba sows. And then when we take that seed and we keep watering it, yes, I am a pure soul, I am a pure soul, I am a pure soul, and I am free from the pulls of the body and the impure world, and my nature is pure, and my mind is only full of good wishes, good feelings, pure thoughts. When you start experimenting with it, then you come to the realization that yes, you are a pure soul. So Baba says that I come at this time, and without me you cannot have this seed of a pure world. So although Baba today in the Murli says that although the world says that Bharat was the golden sparrow, yes, but then how was it the golden sparrow? Because you see, purity, peace, happiness has to precede prosperity. You cannot have prosperity without purity, peace, happiness. And Baba says otherwise that prosperity will be temporary. So Baba says that Baba only comes and tells us or reminds us or makes us again aware of that time when this kind of a golden sparrow Bharat existed. And Baba says, now again I remind you that because you were pure, the world was full of peace, happiness and prosperity. So again, when you go back to purity, you create that world. And Baba says, I come and give this knowledge to everybody. And the time also signals that now you need to change. But only those souls who have their part in the drama, they get inspired to make this effort. And then again, that effort has to be made. And then there are very few souls who actually make that effort. And the biggest effort is to stay in Baba's remembrance. And the most important thing is get up early in the morning. Because if you don't get up early in the morning, then the time to lay the foundation is gone. And you can lay the foundation for Baba's remembrance only early in the morning. Just like, there is a time for everything. The time for remembering Baba is in the Brahma Muhurat. Because only at that time you do not have interference from the atmosphere. Everybody around you is asleep, and deep sleep state means less interference from the atmosphere. And only at that time, becoming soul conscious and remembering Baba is very easy. At other times of the day, most of your effort will be spent in making effort, not in remembering Baba. But in the early morning, if you get up, then you can actually remember Baba and draw power. So Baba says the first effort you have to make is sit in Amrit Vela, get up early in the morning and remember Baba. And Baba says, even if you find it difficult to sit in one place, just keep walking and remembering me. You can just keep walking and remembering me. You can just keep walking slowly or take a stroll and keep remembering me. And that is the effort you need to make. Because first effort is change of the sthiti. If the state doesn't change, your actions cannot change. So even choosing pure actions is a product of first being powerful. So Baba says, the time has come, drama is inspiring you, I am giving you the knowledge, I have sown the seed which never existed. So the seed of the deity religion or the seed of purity that you had forgotten, that I sow in your awareness again. And then drama also inspires you. Your part is also there, that's why you get it. But then don't become lazy, because then you have to win over Maya, and Maya will tell you go to sleep, yes, and what's the point? You can get up at 6 and also meditate. But Baba says no, don't listen to Maya, win over Maya and make this effort. So this is one thing. And second thing Baba says is, renounce the awareness of this old world. And Baba says that forget this old world. This is also an effort you have to make. Because you see, the law of remembrance tells you that you become like the one you remember. And this whole old world, your body, everybody around you, everything around you is impure. And if you remember them, you will be colored by them. You cannot remember something and not be colored by it. And everything around you is impure. So Baba says, make the effort to not remember anyone or anything around you. That's also a very big, because as soon as the thoughts fill your mind, you have to substitute those thoughts with Baba's remembrance or with Gyan. Because just like Gyan colors you, just like Baba's remembrance colors you, similarly, if you remember anything of the old world, it also colors you. It also has an effect on you. So this is why renounce the awareness or forget the old world. That which you can see with the eyes is the old world. Starting from this whole body is also part of the old world. Okay, Om Shanti.